Oh, shit. Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Keno Green, coming to you with another edition of Burning Bush. I thought I had this set up, but apparently I don't. What up, Nick? Everybody? Fuck. I might be able to do it. Cheers, everyone. Good morning. I'm just trying to set this up, man. I wasn't prepared. I thought I had it ready, but I don't. Well, hopefully. Any fucking Camilla tapes? Nah. Alright, so now that I got this set up, I can do some dabs. I hope y'all don't mind my chest hair. Yeah, I woke up probably not too long ago. Great night. Now it's time to do some dabs. Start the day. Just get all this unnecessary stuff out the way. But I picked up another jar of Dankems. I couldn't resist. Only place where I could finally get my recommendation, they guarantee. Yeah. You know, there are a couple places where you can get your card online. It's just, I don't know if all the stores will recognize and give you your money back on. You need a waxing. Probably. I'm gonna try to gather up a dab so we can start the day right. There's nothing like that first smoke in the morning. Well, Mr. Sparks a lot. We got a nice little amount built up on here, so we'll probably get like maybe 2 good dabs out of here. And scrape up some more and see what else we got in here. But for right now, this should definitely do the trick. I just, I don't know, whatever issues that I'm dealing with right now, it's like just that relief that you get when you hit some weed, like that instant relief that your body starts to, recognize that cannabis is in the system. I mean, I know, for instance, like, all right, say you live in Illinois and you go online and you get a California weed card. It's like, we can't accept it at our dispensary because you could just go online and do a Skype fucking, meeting with a doctor and get your recommendation card. So it's like, yeah, it's not gonna work in our dispensary. Like your state, your issuing state and your driver's license have to match. I mean, some dispensaries follow the state laws and ordinance like that, and some don't. They don't even care as long as you Oh, but you in Florida? Oh yeah. Well, if it's done in Florida, then yeah, go for it. If you're in a state where that's part of your process, then go ahead. But Mr. Sparks a lot, I'm dual streaming right now, in case you wondering who else I'm talking to. So I got Stoner Scope and Weed Tube up right now. So if that's confusing you, yeah. But if that's part of your process to getting your card, I'd say go ahead. Especially if you're going to guarantee that they give you your money back if you don't, get it. That's kind of dope because I know with Michigan, it's like you pay like $75 just to apply, and it's like no guarantee that, that it'll go through. So they're making $75 off of everybody who's trying to even become a patient. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when I submitted my check and stuff, I figured it's like, well, since you're paying, you're probably not gonna you know, keep your money. But I was, you know, you never know how they do. But cheers to you all. Let's get smoking. Ooh. The thing about a dab is so fast acting. It's such a high from a concentrated cannabis that the effects are immediate. Like I already feel it like massaging my like my skull. I feel like spreading on my shoulders and my chest. Like that light heavy feeling. It's like light as a feather, but I don't know. Still falling. So yeah. That's like the first dab to start today. How hot? I say whatever source that you're using, like a quartz nail, titanium nail, heat it up until it turns red, and then just wait a couple seconds. You know, put your hand over it, and if it's not like, you know, if you have to pull your hand away, obviously it's too hot. But I know people got like these little dial clocks, sand clocks, and stuff that they use, and they, you know, they get it red and they turn that over and they wait for a certain amount of time. I really just go based off of, you know, just experience using the nail. If I get it red hot and I put it down, if I talk for 10 seconds, it'll still be good. If I talk for like a minute, it won't be. It'll be a low temp dab, and I'll end up like burning off some of the fucking dab, and I feel like I wasted. So with the hot temp dab, it's going to produce a lot more smoke, and but you know that has its, you know, it's going to be heated, it's going to be hot in the chest though, so it's not going to be as pleasant to receive it. But I mean, personal preference, it's just trial and error. You'll get used to it. But some people do hot dabs like for fun and shit, and make videos, and or like how I'm live right now. I've seen YouTubers just, you know, they're like, all right, well, we're gonna do a hot dab now, you know what I'm saying? And they just heat that bitch up red hot and then just put, you know, something on it right when, you know, after they finish heating it up. And I don't know. I've noticed smoother hits with low temp, like easier to handle, like on your lungs and as far as smoking it. But I don't know. I think I get more flavor when it's a little bit hotter. I don't know if it's, you know, the heating source determines how quickly the chemicals react and they burn off. If different temperatures affect different vapors or what, but I just like to heat it up. Oh shit, I didn't even scrape none together yet. I like to get it at least. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Too hot will probably burn off some of the goodness of it. So just like right now, I just heated it up. And it should be good. That one tastes like cotton candy for some reason. Yeah, it tastes just like cotton candy. I don't know if like they accidentally dropped a little turp in there or something, because that tastes literally like some straight cotton candy. I haven't tasted that this whole time I've been smoking that. So I don't know. Seems like some terps got dropped in here or something. But I kind of like collecting some wax right after I use the dab tool because it's still a little, it got a little heat still on there. So it makes it easier collecting the wax because it like melts it off the surface, which, makes it a little bit easier collecting it. Like right now, I got a little bit amount. Got enough on there for another little dab. Yeah. This is like my fourth one, I think. And I'm getting to the point where I'm definitely feeling like medicated, not like how I was normal. So now I'm just taking it up a couple notches, prolong its effects and amplify its intensity. Cause like right now, I'm good right now. I'm high, I got medicated, I got that feeling going, and some of the feelings of unease I was having before seem to subsided. But I'm gonna take another dab just for good measure. Ooh. Yeah. But I gotta keep water around me. Anytime I'm having a smoke session, I have to have it. There's no way I would get through one of these without some water or some tissue or something. But check out the latest playlist I just created on YouTube. High Times Cannabis Cup. There's about 10 videos in there. I got all the performances listed so you know what song it's gonna be. But shout out to Danny Brown. Our state doesn't break it down like that. Like my card just says, obviously I'm a cannabis patient and I'm allowed to possess plants. So it's like if an officer or something was to look at my card and they see that part, and then if somebody, like if a neighbor complains of, they see me with a cannabis plant walking past the window, cops show up and it's like, well, look, I'm allowed to have plants, so they couldn't do anything. But as far as like the dosage levels, Michigan doesn't really put a limit on how high you can have, the content of your product. Like we sell 98 and 99%, distillate and isolate. So you can get the highest dosage form possible, like in that case. But I know we had a guy come in from, I believe, Illinois or Indiana, One of them has a medical program, but they only sell vapor and like capsules. I don't think they're allowed to have flour in their dispensaries yet. So they break it down like everything that's in whatever it is, and like how you're talking about like the high and low level, they actually keep track of that. Like you can only buy a certain amount per unit of weight or some weird shit that they have out there. I don't know. But he was showing me the bottles and it's printed out like on the bottle slip, like how um you would get like the name and how much they had the name, how much the breakdown from like THC, CBD, CBG, THCA, CBC, THG. They had all it like broken down and like the to the decimal, like the 300 percentile decimal place, broken down to that fraction just to make sure that, a patient wasn't going over this limit. And I think it was really low. I think it was like unbelievably low. Like it must have been their laws probably was written by somebody who has never smoked anything in their life. But that's why I try to advocate for people in the cannabis community to join their city councils or either get involved with a group, a coalition, or somebody that has a national recognition for cannabis, reform, and just go represent in your city or town, because the people who are end up making the profits off of it outside of the growers and vendors and distributors themselves is going to be these officials. Like these, they're writing into laws that proceeds of, I think what was crazy in Michigan, the money that's generated off of the application fees for cannabis, people were going directly into the something with the police. Like it was basically paying for a police task force that was actually fucking doing raids on cannabis shops. It's like that doesn't even sound like it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you take the money that you're taking for people applying to have the cannabis card and then taking that money and giving it to the SWAT task force that's responsible for doing raids on dispensaries? It's like it's completely crazy. So the more that we have better representation on city councils and, whatever, the better it'll be. That's just nuts. When you sit down and think about it, it's like, so the people who've been directly responsible for destroying people's lives because they've been caught with cannabis now are going to get money off of, it being legal. Like, that's so fucked up. But, if that has to happen for cannabis to be legal, then, I'll bite that bullet. I'll swallow my pride. Like, hey, I'm legal, other people can be legal, people can have access to clean and lab tested meds, then I'm all for it. Because at the end of the day, the people who's really missing out and suffering the most are the patients. And that's like why all these rules and things are so, like, it gets real petty when it comes down to it, how they try to micromanage cannabis. And it's like they don't do that for any other industry. Their concerns, they don't put those loopholes and special taxes. And like when you have a prescription, you don't pay taxes on your fucking RX. Cannabis, though, patients, we have to pay a sales tax on top of the state tax with our meds. Why? They wrote it up like that just because it's like, okay, well, if you don't allow it to be legal, then we're gonna have to tax it. So the state is actually making money off of the sales of cannabis. Well, in my state at least. Right, and I passed a global supply fucking pharmaceutical company every day on the way. The biggest drug house imaginable, football fields big, making dope every fucking day. Global supply. And I just think, I'm like, the CEO of that building or that company, I bet he's not even here. He's somewhere across the world soaking up the sun, living a good life. While at the same time, his product is responsible for thousands of deaths a day. A day, not just like, oh, over the course of 10 years, if you abuse RX, then you might die. No, it's every single fucking day somebody's dropping dead off of this shit. And it's like, he's never once, none of these CEOs never even came close to facing the fear of having to face criminal charges. It's like we lock up, drug dealers because it's like they're a plague on society. People want drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. It's just real crazy. It's like we lock up the dude on the corner and say that we're protecting the community, but then the actual community, I'm quite sure, dying as a result of this legal community, they don't face no pressure from Congress, from government, from law enforcement. They not one fucking pharmaceutical company has been raided. I do not think in the history of America that one has been raided. Like, for the purpose of, like, you guys are hurting the community. You guys are responsible for deaths, for shutting this operation down until, the courts figure it out. That has not happened once. But then you have, somebody calls the police on the neighbor because they can smell weed coming from their house or something, and they bust in with a SWAT unit with their guns drawn, killing people's dogs and shit because of fucking up plan. And it's like, either society is just, we are really just fucked up as a species to where we create this reality to harm ourselves on purpose. That's how sick we are as a species. Or what else could it be? Because that's what's fucking happening right now. The taxes there to offset the revenue that they're going to lose for not being able to lock folks up for it. It's always been about the money, never our health. Fact sparks a lot. That's true. And that's what I hate, because it's like they'll allow cannabis to be illegal in certain states for the sole purpose of incarcerating people and to fill that for-profit, demand. This is what doesn't, like, people don't even fucking realize this, but there are fucking guarantees in these for-prison profit contracts with governments that they must maintain like a 90% occupancy. So it's like they're saying that in order for this prison to offset some of the state's, issue of housing criminals, nonviolent drug offenders, people who smoke weed, to offset them being responsible, they're going to allow a corporation, the sole purpose to profit off of housing people, to exist. So their incentive is to keep people in jail in that contract. And the governments that allow these for-profit prisons to exist in their state, they sign off on it. So your state basically says, fuck you, I'm going to get some money going about business this way. And slavery has never ended in America. They might have wrote it on pieces of paper, but look, you see this here? I wrote this on a piece of paper too. Now, do you see this PayPal account? Just because I wrote this on a piece of paper and this PayPal exists doesn't mean that Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor seen this video and donated $1 million from their contract to this because I have it on a piece of paper and I want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's on a piece of paper, you can say what the fuck you want on a piece of paper. You can act like it's a holy document. You can act like it's the backbone of our society. You can act like whatever the fuck you want it to be. Your patriotic, whatever, call it freedom and duty, whatever. But what we have happening in reality is not what they report on the media. Rarely. I have to get, I have to listen to independent journalists to get my news. I do not trust any form of media, mainstream media. It's all propaganda and crowd control. They use it to control the populace. They don't use it to get us really informed about what we need to do to make our lives better. I never seen one news report that said, "Hey guys, you know that this election is coming up and shit's kind of crazy. So we're gonna form a little group right now to make sure that everybody can miss class and miss work and go vote on these 2 days, so we can actually have a proper representation of what we want as our community and who we're voting into power." Like, that's never pushed on it. That's never mainstream media news. You never hear shit like that. What you hear is fucking, a giraffe escaped from a zoo. Traffic's backed up because the roads fucked up. Yeah, the corporate world is a form of slavery. Debt is a form of slavery. When I went to college, I was truly believing that I was, pursuing, my dreams and my hopes and my goals. And I'm thankful for that experience, that college experience, and getting my diploma and everything like that. It was great. But the debt that I've incurred because of it, it's like when I sit back and think like, damn, the job that was promised with this degree is not guaranteed. It's limited supply. The job market is going to exist, but depending on the infrastructure of where you are in the nation, like if I didn't move to major technology hubs, the East Coast or the West Coast, Silicon Valley, or out like, where UMass and fucking MIT, if I wasn't out in those areas where that purpose is, technology and computer driven, then I wasn't really going to get a job fulfilling that degree. So where I was at in my life, and it just didn't work out. So it's like I'm in debt. Like, that's a struggle. That's real fucking life. I have a college loan that they don't care what the issue is, what your job employment, like what your court issue is. None of that. They don't give a fuck about none of that. They just let the interest incur, and they're just gonna wait until forever until I pay it off. And if I don't pay it off, I'm quite sure they'll be happy to pass that, that IOU on to my kids or anything like that. It's just fucking crazy. So we're all enslaved in one way or another with this current system, this world system that's operating right now. It's pretty fucking crazy. But hopefully, like all things in nature, we see a reset. It's happened with the world a couple times. They claim about, the Great Flood. It's, the story of Gilgamesh. That's where the Noah Bible version, it's inspired by the story of Gilgamesh, the whole world flooding. So it's just these oral traditions that's been passed down throughout time. But, with the dinosaurs, I don't know, it was, dinosaurs and man, they existed at the same time, and all that shit. But they have gone extinct, so I just think the universe has a way of resetting itself. Everything's conscious. I say we put silent and I missed the rest of it. I just wish the people would be like, I wish everybody would just say, man, fuck what they talking about. Nobody, like, if we all just, nobody pay taxes no more. Nobody go to work. Nobody go to school. If we all met up, like, we should have did it the day that the women's had their march. Like, there was so many people there that, all we had to do was get, the rest of the people to say, you know what, we should just say, fuck this. We do not agree with what's going on. This is crazy. Like, we're spending so much money on fucking wars, and, we're not giving these people democracy. We're not giving these people freedom. How are we bombing the shit out of them, giving them freedom? We're killing them. That's not, there's no freedom in war. Like, they don't receive us dropping bombs is freedom for them. They see it as them getting attacked by some freaking foreign nation for who knows what fucking reason. Because governments are having power plays over resources, and it's like we have a source that's going to outlive us all, the fucking sun, that shines every fucking day. And we haven't said, maybe we should utilize this source that's not going to run out and stop focusing on oil that's running out. It's fucking beyond me. This money is like money's controlling everything. I have to pay taxes, just this bullshit. It's so frustrating to think about, because it's like, if money is the sole purpose of why these decisions are being made because people are making money off of it, then it's like, man, it's almost like, well, then we don't deserve this planet, we don't deserve to live. But then it's like, why the fuck should all of us not deserve to live because a few of these motherfuckers are writing some bullshit on pieces of paper and making decisions about who to invade next so we can get resources? Like this is so fucking crazy. Like all these fucking police killings, they wrote the law specifically to protect cops, to give them the upper hand when they go to court. They wrote like, if an officer is believed to be in fear for his life. So we're saying we're judging the right to kill people off of feelings. So anytime a cop feels that they're threatened, they can kill you. And even if, that wasn't the case on video, we see the cop shooting somebody running away from him, he was obviously in fear for his life, killing somebody that was in fear for his life. And then it's like, well, by the definition, juries have to award a verdict based off the definition of the law. So if a cop says he felt like his life was in danger, the jury has to believe that. If a cop said that his life was in danger. And that's how they've been getting off with murder for ever. That shit is so fucking crazy. And it's like, it's only like this because we made it like this. Well, not we. Whoever wrote that law, probably some politician who was buddy with a police union or with cops association who, they, rub knuckles together and shit like that. That stuff, it happens. That stuff happens. All these little cliques and forms of government and control, and it's been happening since forever. And I'm just here saying, you know what? We can change it. It's not like we can't. If we wrote a law saying that, it's illegal to have weed, we can write a law saying it's illegal for, politicians to hold office while there are homeless people in their city after, a year being in office. If they haven't solved a problem like that, then yeah, you can't be a politician anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like that, there should be laws like that. Like if your approval rating drops below a certain percent, like if you're failing at your job, you should be fired. Like Congress has what, 11% approval rating? How are they not fired? Like anywhere else in the real world, can you go to a job and fuck up 90% of the time and keep that job? Nowhere in the history of life is that possible. But in America, it is. For some weird reason. I wonder why. Yeah, it's fucking sickening. And it's like, to be conscious is to be in a constant state of rage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this shit exists. It's like, I know gerrymandering exists. I know they cheat to win elections and shit like that. I know it. I knew you could fucking hack elections back in 2000. I knew there was capable technology that was capable back then. I just want the people to come together. I miss what you said, man. I'm sorry. I just want people to come together, man. Stop dividing yourself by class, race, gender, sexuality. None of that shit matters at the end of the day. That's what they've been using to control us. They've been using that to divide us. Like, none of that shit matters. We all breathe air. We all bleed. We all need food and water and shelter and clothing. That's universal. Everywhere on the planet, that's true. It's like if we can just fucking acknowledge that we're all people, then we can move past this bullshit. Like that racism is the most ignorant, dumbest thing that you could possibly attach to your life. Loving yourself is one thing, but hating other people because you love yourself so much, totally different concept. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing with being proud of who you are, where you come from. But using that as a reason to look down on other people defeats the purpose of being prideful. Now you're just an asshole. Yeah. Cheers, man. But I do feel with the more this is legal, the easier it is. It's going to be to wake people up. Just like truth serum and fucking weed. And that's why it's goddamn illegal, I feel. Like, bullshit aside. Like with the shit that they use to control us, media, putting fluoride in the water, chemicals in the food and shit. All that, you know, could only be successful if weed was like, you know, under wraps. But we see that there's more consciousness spreads like states. Like when California legalized, it was like, okay, domino. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I definitely think cannabis is a tool to world peace. Like instead of if we drop bombs and buds instead of bombs, I'm quite sure countries would fucking love America. They would be cheering USA anytime, you know, you had a question of, you know, it's like, how do you feel about America? I love America. You know, because if you drop fucking something there for them to smoke or consume that has beneficial health properties, if you improve the quality of life of somebody, you think they're not going to be thankful for that? If everywhere America went, we brought nothing but bongs, blunts, buds, people would fucking love us. You know, people would fucking love us. Some countries, I mean, they still look at weed like it's crazy. I was that in the Philippines, that fucking leader, he killed so many people or something like that. Like if you get caught with weed or any type of drug, like kill you, they just kill you. What the fuck is going on? Man. But yeah. Y'all just stay attuned to what's going on in the world. Check out Viceland. That's a good show. A lot of information. They got a lot of shit that's just like goofy and for stoners and shit like that too. But I won't say just for stoners. They got a lot of valuable information on there. So if you're curious about some shit, you might want to check it out. Or Vice News, stuff like that. That's where I get my information from. I'm not gonna catch the truth. Like I have to when I watch fucking mainstream media, like I see what they report and then like I break it down what they're really trying to say or what they're doing. Because anytime they, you know, the government releases a statement, they're doing the opposite of what they're saying. You know, there will be a full investigation. There won't be a full investigation. You know, that's just how I look at it. Like when they say shit like that, it's like there won't be. Man, stay woke. But, yeah. And then one thing I hate, what I see on social media daily, it's like people picking sides about a political party and just going back and forth. It's like, dude, you arguing about a liberal and you arguing about being a Republican. Bro, that's what they want y'all to do. They want y'all to be focused on that bullshit so they can get away with murder behind closed doors. Is what they're really trying to do right now is literally murder millions of fucking Americans with that health care bill. If they pass that shit, it's gonna have the most negative effect on our society ever. I mean, we can do it. Like there's gonna be a lot of people who won't know how to survive for a second, which is crazy. There's people who solely depend on, Walmart or whatever to exist. Like they don't know how to plant fruit and vegetables and stuff. They might be hit, but that's where everybody comes in. We all take care of each other, and that should be the goal anywhere on this planet. We all take care of each other. I don't get like how that's not universally recognized. It's like, you know what? If everybody take care of everybody, then there won't be nobody without. You know what I'm saying? If everybody took care of everybody, there won't be anybody without. I don't know why that's not. I don't know why that's not a law. That should be a universal law in every government. Everybody take care of everybody, so nobody will go without. It's just that simple. It's like we have shells. Okay, here's where. Yeah, shit. Yeah, before colonization happened, a lot of natural ways of man was living off the land and having unity with, with whatever community what was present. And then, whatever. I don't even want to go into it, but we throw away so much food. Throw away, just throw away. While at the same time people go starving. This is what makes absolutely no sense to me. Like farmers throw out fruit that look defective for the sole purpose that, the people that they supply will reject it anyway. Because, shoppers pick based off of appearance. So any fruit that looks a little misshapen or not completely right, 9 times out of 10, a person's not going to buy it. So the stores don't even accept them, and farmers just end up throwing away like probably 15 to 20% of what they yield, which is fucking crazy. While at the same time, we have like 1 in 4 kids are fucking going to sleep hungry or some statistic like that is fucking wild. And it's like, I just don't fucking get it. Like, we have the solutions to our problems, but because it might, take some financial responsibility or some sacrifice on losing out on a certain amount of profits that we just throw it away instead, which is like, it's like people are literally starving and we throw away food. It boggles my mind. I can't grasp this matrix of this world that they want us to live in. And it's crazy. There was I've seen a lot of the cost of transport was weighed in heavily on some farmers' decisions whether they were going to donate to food banks. And sometimes the cost of fuel to transport the produce, to the fucking food bank and then to come back was costing them to lose out, on their fucking, even to break even. So it was like the cost benefit was hurting their business, so they couldn't continue to donate the food, so they just let it fucking go to waste. And it's like, we should have money in place from our government saying, you know what, we should set aside a certain amount of money to make sure that we're able to get fresh food to goddamn places that need it for people that need it most. That should be a fucking law. Nobody has stood up in Congress and say, I'm here to present this law on behalf of the United States citizens who go hungry every fucking day. Nobody's done that. And I'm like, well, what are they focused on? They're focused on transgender bathrooms and, putting in new voting laws that keep people from voting. Like, it's like their focus is on superficial bullshit that doesn't matter at the end of the day while real people are fucking suffering. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But I think a lot of it has to do with the the type of drug-induced coma that a lot of America is walking around in, because prescription pills, multi-trillion-dollar fucking. They say they report billions, so I think it's $1 trillion industry for this shit every fucking where. I can't go a day without seeing an ad for fucking some type of pill, some type of fucking pill for a pill. Every goddamn day. Newspapers, magazines, commercials, TV, radio. Somebody's trying to sell me a goddamn pill. It's so goddamn annoying. And it's like, I seen a study that says like over 600 fucking medications tested. Who did this? Who was behind this report? Over 600 medications tested that's currently available on the market for all of people to consume, found to have the same active ingredient that just so happens to block the lymphatic lobe in your brain. So if you think about it, if you have a whole society walking around lacking empathy, they wouldn't give a fuck who they kicked out of the country or what country we dropped the bomb on. We wouldn't give a fuck. We would probably cheer it on when we seen it. So when you have a video like a cop beating the shit out of somebody who's already surrendered, and then you have somebody in the comment section like, yeah, just obey the law. That's what the fuck you get. You don't like it, get out of our country. And it's like, are we watching the same fucking video? This dude is on the ground with his hands behind his back, where's his hands up, giving up, and the cops just come and beat the shit out of him. It's like, what are you, like, what, are we watching the same video? But then it started to make sense to me. I'm like, if you think about it, they put fluoride in water, right? Which blocks the pineal gland, which is like the gateway into, I would say, everything that connects us to the universe and us here. That's the pineal gland. That is like the active part of the brain that shit happens. And when you have fluoride introduced into your body and it absorbs in the pineal gland, which calcifies it and stops it from actually doing what it's naturally doing. So if we have a whole populace with the inability to connect to a higher source, a higher power, a greater, life force, and the connection to all of us, if you block people from having that ability, and if you block somebody from having the ability to feel empathy for others, you could do whatever the fuck you want to do as a controlling body form. And that is exactly what I see happening. There's people who don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. Yeah, the third eye. The pineal gland is what other people call the third eye. It's like your eyeball into the great beyond. You know what I'm saying? It's like your connection into that. It's like your ability to see into that world. You know what I'm saying? And if you block that ability and the ability for people to care about others, that's why you see so many people in restaurants cursing out somebody for, just being in line or speaking a different language, or this is America, speak English. It's like, this is America, speak what the fuck you want. That's the point of America. And some people have this ownership over this land that's not even theirs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, none of this shit, we own none of this. The majority of people are paying a bank for where they rest their head at night. They're paying somebody else for where they sleep right now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's paying rent to somebody right now. And it's like, but that's normal. So I see the matrix. You know what I'm saying? I see the web of tools and what they use to keep people trapped. And that's why I make this fucking show. So hopefully that it'll spread and people will start to wake up to it and start questioning shit. And that's what I have a real problem with, people who never question everything that they believe. Banks do own America. America borrows money from an international bank. The person with the power is the one with the money, not the one who borrows the money. You know what I'm saying? So he who has the gold makes the rules. But I'm about to dip into this fresh batch. We're gonna take another dab. I just hope that I don't get fucking targeted for doing this goddamn show. These guys trying to wake up the world. Cut his fucking brake line, some crazy shit. But in any case, I thank you all for viewing these videos. I hope that you will save them, share them, like them, forward them, email them, archive them, do whatever you can with them. And so, let the world know that I actually gave a fuck. That I actually gave a fuck. And my girls, I love you. Family, I love you. And I try to stay on top of this shit, man. I really try to stay woke to it, because like at first I really didn't give a fuck that much. I was still trying to learn who I was as a person, where I wanted to be in life, and what my goals was. So when I was young, I really didn't know. I just started answering those questions now that I'm 30. But a lot of experience and pain and trial and error came from what got me to where I am. But now that I have kids in this world, I actually want to leave it better than I found it, just so they can live in a world with less bullshit, less assholes, less dictators, less controlling powers that just get a kick out of seeing people suffer. I don't fucking understand it, how, some of these decisions get made. Like, I seen a video of this cop. He was like, I'm really tired of this negative, it was a sheriff, just saying, like, I'm really tired of this negative backlash that we see from the community. Like, we're the enemy. We're the good guys. And in below the video, they were showing all of the police who were like handcuffing and throwing people out of wheelchairs, and recently who were protesting that healthcare bill. Like, they were showing up at congressmen's offices and stuff, like in wheelchairs and with whatever disease that they're suffering from on a sign, and police just was kicking people out and just arresting them and throwing people out of wheelchairs. And it's like, dude, you really don't know why people don't like police right now? And you're playing the victim? Like, look, you just literally threw somebody who sits in a wheelchair on the floor for trying to not get their wheelchair fucking taken from them because, Medicaid cuts. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. So, cheers, man. But I do believe that with the globalization of weed and hemp, that slowly but surely the conscious spirit will waken up around the world. People will begin to question life and want the basic things that it entails: peace, joy, happiness, love, community, family, business ownership. I believe that we'll see, advances everywhere. People just creating new art, new music, new everything. But, I just can't wait. I sit and I think about it like, man, like the house of the future, probably gonna be made out of hemp. The toilet and the water, it'll probably be able to recycle itself. And I just keep thinking about like how, the whole roof will be made out of, one big solar collecting unit that charges the whole house and charges the car. And I just think about like what these communities and these cities will eventually look like, the new ones that will come up. And it's like, there's gonna be a great fucking day. There's gonna be a real great fucking day for humanity if we can just survive long enough to fucking get there. And I just hope that these people who got power to press, they send a fucking nuke and murder hundreds of thousands to millions of people. I hope they don't press that fucking button, you know? I just hope it doesn't come to that. I hope that we can truly live in the utopia of true genius, you know, of such technological, tech, tech advances that our life has become so simplified, but to in such an advanced degree that we truly like, it's like heaven on earth, you know, clean water, fresh air, you know, animals not going extinct, you know, great wildlife, everything in balance. The oceans are healthy, you know, the planet's thriving. There's more trees than ever, you know, shit like that. I see it existing. I truly do see it existing. I just hope that it exists before before it all ends. So I just hope that, you know, that the crazy people don't get too crazy. Ready to hit fire. What up, though? Cheers, everybody. This Gorilla Glue got me on some real reflective type shit, man. Gorilla Glue number 4, Dankems Hunters. I'm feeling pretty right. It's 12 o'clock. That's okay, yeah. Damn, I just looked down and just found like a little. Is that a ball of wax? A little roll of wax. Like, where the fuck did that go from? That's crucial. Blessed. I lived the past. I lived present. That's how I used to talk when I first got my braces, man. Hey, Mom, can I have some cereal? My teeth were so numb I couldn't even fucking eat it. Never mind. What's wrong? Now you keep it. You keep it. But yeah, there is always hope, man. And that's what keeps me going. Cause man, my kids are so full of life, bro. So happy, so joyful all the time. I mean, like all the time. And it's just great to see them in such high, you know, high spirits. And I just hope that you know, that life just doesn't, you know, get in the way of that. Because there's some people hell bent on being miserable, and as an effect of them being miserable, they make everybody around them miserable. There's some toxic people, and I just think that they need to hit some weed, and people around them need to hit some weed, and you know, hopefully, you know, they'll find the love again. Some people just need to be loved, man. And so not everybody comes from a happy home. So some people come from some real fucked up situations. So it's like they get in relationships not knowing how to love or how to be loved because they never seen it or experienced it. You know, that's good, man. And you got a team, and that's one thing that always surprises me. I notice with young people is that even when they fuck up, you know, they still got that drive to do something else and keep trying. And like young people, you know, I kind of feel sorry for y'all, for the younger generations, because this world that they're trying to program you all into is really kind of fucked up, you know. And some generation, I don't know if it was just a lack of us really having control, or somewhere our parents just got lost in the shuffle of life and they didn't, you know, pick up the torch from those who came before us, or if those who were working towards, you know, better tomorrows got killed or assassinated. You know, I see history. I know history. Attachment disorder. Yeah. So I hope that this younger generation will just bear with us. And I get to, these older folks. Cheers. Because we all can benefit from each other, the young and the old. The old have the wisdom that the young need, and the young have the energy that the old needs. So it's like we need each other, to make the shit work. Wisdom and life experience. We need that from the older generation. Yeah, the younger generation. We need the younger generation to, use that energy and to create new shit. When kids get older and can't still love that atmosphere, but yeah, it's pretty crucial. It's like actually somebody showing them love to actually push that person away because it's like it makes them uneasy. It's uncomfortable to be in places that you've never been before. So it's like you're not used to it. Somebody actually being nice to you or loving you, truly just loving you, might scare the shit out of a person. They end up pushing that person away. And like you being the loving person you are, you can't understand why the person that you love is ignoring your calls and texts. And it's like, the fuck, dude? I just call and see how you doing, man. You all right? Shit is crazy. But yeah, so I just hope that everybody has their struggles, their demons, the things that they're battling, the families, their friends, all the shit that that life offers. People are dealing with it. Yeah, it does happen to a lot of energy. But I hope that cannabis and hemp will start to revitalize our communities and build these new communities that we so desperately need, the new infrastructure. So if you're looking for any investment advice, that's where I would invest, in hemp and fucking cannabis. But I thank you all for joining me on this edition of Burning Bush. It's been one smoky and truthful and inspiring and honest hour. Wake and bake. So I thank you all for joining me. Follow me on all these social medias, and this includes PlayStation 4. Just put BB or Burning Bush in the message so I know that's where you added me from, and we can do some gaming. And I usually broadcast the gaming too. So if you want to be on the show, the Kino Green Gaming, yeah, that's one way you can do it. Hit me up. So peace, prosperity, and blessings to you and yours. And until next time, stay smoky, everybody. Peace out. Have a good day.